It's October 2015. The second year of my online masters is beginning, and I'm starting to think about where I'm at. I've had a lot of experiences that have propelled me towards the place that I'm at today, and I just wanted to take some time to think about it a little bit more deeply. This reflection comes from or is inspired by a reading entitled Minds on Fire, Open Education, the Long Tail and Learning 2.0. It talks about change in education, change in learning, and change that is shaped and influenced by technology and by the internet. So, how have I been changed and how have I been shaped and influenced? Let's have a look. Let's get a bit closer. Learning online. It all started with the Open University back in the days. And I think I did beginner's Chinese and French, maybe upper intermediate French and advanced French. And that was my first online learning experience. And more recently, I've done a course with International House Online Training School, and of course now with the with this master's with the University of Nottingham, I have had the chance to share knowledge and ideas with my tutors, but also with my peers, and I think that's had a profound effect on me, opening my eyes to a new way of learning. So from the reading, which was published in 2008, some 7 years ago now, the authors point out that we're entering a world in which we will have to acquire new knowledge and skills almost on a continuous basis. So what skills did I learn? Or what skills am I learning? Well, everything's online, so I have become more digitally literate. I have a laptop, a tablet, and a smartphone, and I'm sharpening my skills, moving from using them as purely communicative tools, perhaps in the entertainment sense, searching for articles, fun articles to read, to more educational articles, and learning to use these tools in a more to help facilitate my learning, whether it be kind of note-taking or practicing, for example, through language learning. So I've become more aware of apps and websites that are more focused on what I'm interested in and that appeal to me in terms of their ease of use and their functionality. Indeed, the Web 2.0 is creating a new kind of participatory medium that is ideal for supporting multiple modes of learning. So I'm very visual. I like to see things, some color and some images. So learning online has really helped me kind of scaffold my learning in terms of seeing things. It's also useful for audio and video. So that's kind of information literacy. There's been a lot of critical thinking involved, kind of problem solving and project-based learning with all of my previous collaborative online learning experiences. With International House, we, well, indeed, with all of these educational institutions, the participants have been in different geographic zones and time zones. So we had to work together to arrange when we were going to meet, how we were going to meet, on what platform, who was doing what, and how we were going to present the information. So actually it was, the whole process was kind of laid out in front of us, and we were architects of that process and owners of that process, and that was facilitated by the internet. So this encapsulated a type of social learning. We were kind of learning together on a platform. Social learning is based on the premise that our understanding of content is socially constructed through conversations about the content and through guided interactions, especially with others, around problems or actions. The focus is not so much on what we are learning, but on how we are learning. And I think that goes back to what I was saying about the process, being able to kind of zoom out and be part of the process and deciding on what, how that process is going to be carried out. So right now I'm doing a lot of what I call digital testing, or testing digital tools. In my first year I had a lot of young learners, and I didn't feel comfortable kind of imposing these digital tools on them. But now I have 18, 19-year-olds, and I'm trying out lots of different things. For example, Vocaroo. It's an online voice recorder, which is quite nice, and it's free, and you can record your voice for free, and it creates for you a web link as well as an MP3. So you can download the MP3, or, well, there are a few other files that it also produces. You can download the MP3 to your computer if you like, but what's nice is that you can just copy and paste the web link, and that would be available to listen to on any device, so smartphone, tablet, or laptop. The downside is that you can only record actually on a computer, on a laptop, but otherwise that works really well. And I use Evernote a lot to make notes, to annotate notes, to keep notes, to brainstorm. It has a dictation function where you can speak and it will type what you say, and you can also simply record yourself. I can see great potential in using Evernote with my students. That's coming up. And Edmodo is it's like a LMS, a learning management system, where I'm planning to kind of store what I'm doing with the classes, with each class, so students can see, some brief notes of what we're studying, what the homework is, and I hope that I will be able to share with them, activities that you can do as an individual, but also I would really want to use the forum, create a forum where people may share ideas and collaborate, discuss, and kind of get comfortable I teach speaking class. A lot of people are nervous, so I want to introduce them to things that will help build their confidence kind of away from the classroom, for example, Vocaroo, and perhaps the voice recording function on Evernote. And also in Edmodo, if you feel free to discuss your ideas, I think that would really help in the classroom. So, you know, what we're seeing here is this. I'm you know, learning new things and experiencing new things myself through, I guess, masters or experts, and I'm passing it on to others. So mastering a field of knowledge involves not only learning about the subject matter, but also learning to be a full participant in the field. So I feel kind of immersed. I'm immersed in it all. And, oops, we can... so I'm learning from experts and masters who are my tutors, and I'm trying to pass on that expert knowledge, and indeed kind of create my own expertise by experimenting myself. And yeah, that's the idea of learning to be. So if we think about how our students are interacting now, it's very kind of informal, it's very social. Yeah, this is something that we can harness, and we can help students to build their own networks, build their own social networks, perhaps build their own educational networks. And the internet gives access to so much information and expertise. Indeed, by enabling students to collaborate with working scientists, the movement that is of social and informal learning provides a platform for the learning to be aspect of social learning. So again, previously, perhaps in a traditional kind of bricks and mortar sense, access to an expert would be beyond reach, but online you are able to reach out and connect with experts in an informal way, and participate with experts in the field, for example, working on projects and so on. And thinking about open projects, we can think about something like Wikipedia, which is a work in progress, and it's open source. Everyone can have access. It's a database of information, a database of facts. But of course, facts are subjective, so we're not all going to agree on whether this fact or this piece of information is true or not. But that's the beauty of Wikipedia, the ability to actually comment and edit that information. And not only that, but the additions, the versions are kept, and so you're able to look back and to see how this piece of information has evolved over time as people have contributed to it. So the emphasis is on building a community of students and scholars as much as providing access to educational content. So this where I'm at and where I'm going even is towards a dream, learning and teaching 2.0, taking things to the next level, that combines social and informal learning. That's more focused on how we learn and not just what we learn, which is regarded as learning to be. And the kind of size, the depth and breadth of the internet means that we're not restricted to big popular subjects, but people can find their own niches, their own learning niches, and they can seek out not just other individuals, but actually other groups who have the same interest and have that same niche. We could call it a community of practice. It's a group of people who have essentially the same hobby, but it's a very niche hobby. And online learning really supports learning niches. So finding and joining a community that ignites a student's passion can set the stage for the student to acquire both deep knowledge about the subjects they're learning about and the ability to participate in the practice of a field through productive inquiry and peer-based learning. So this technology-enhanced learning was being dubbed in 2008 as Learning 2.0. And I see it now as Learning and Teaching 2.0. We need to construct shared, distributed, reflective practicums in which experiences are collected, vetted, clustered, commented on, and tried out in new contexts. I guess I personify that in the form of my blog, which I recently revamped. And the name, actually it's not shown here, but the name of my blog is Learn Experience Teach, and the side note is Teaching English, Learning Chinese, Discovering Digital Technology. And this kind of goes back to this cyclical idea of learning something new, trying it out, acquiring these new skills, and then passing it on. So this is a really big quote that covers all of that. Tools such as blogs, wikis, social networks, tagging systems, mashups, and content sharing sites are examples of a new user-centric information infrastructure that emphasizes participation over presentation, that encourages focused conversation and short briefs rather than traditional publication, and facilitates innovative exploration, experimentations, and purposeful tinkerings that often form the basis of a situated understanding emerging from action, not passivity. It's where I'm at or where I'm going is to be aware of all the cool things that are going on and to learn a little bit about them and try to become a bit of an expert in some area and then pass on that knowledge. The article says we now need a new approach to learning, one characterized by a demand pull rather than the traditional supply push mode of the building up of an inventory of knowledge in students' heads. I think it's very much about seeing what's needed and reacting to that, and the demand pull approach, I think is exemplifies this reaction in the forms of a community of practice, and that's all. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm going, and that's the dream. Learning and Teaching 2.0, inspired by the reading Minds on Fire, Open Education, The Long Tail, and Learning 2.0, published in 2008. Thanks for listening.